It's the Bush League Mud Show.
It's the Bush League Mud Show. Let's go.
Are you ready?
Make some noise!
Yo, what is going on? It is another edition of the Bush League Mud Show. Slade,
PJ,
coming at you on October 26th, fresh off of the Halloween Havoc for NXT 2.0. We're going to be doing a review of both last night's Raw and tonight's NXT 2.0. We did this on purpose.
Yes.
We figured, well, let's not just do a Raw review that we're going to be eating basically sand to get through.
Yes.
And then doing the next night at NXT. Let's just do it all
together.
Knock it all out. So our podcasts, like and subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Also, social media, you can hit us up there as well. Follow us. Promise we'll follow back at Bush League MS Pod. Monday Night Raw. This was last night, October 25th. This was the season premiere that they keep always making an unnecessary big deal about.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything, only to TV execs who don't know what the hell the product is anyways. So that's all it means.
We kick this thing off with the newly acquired Big E, who is currently the champ on the Raw show. He welcomed everyone to the season premiere because that's what this was all about that night. He congratulated his New Day member Xavier Woods on his King of the Ring victory, and then he also gave some props to Drew McIntyre as a babyface would. He gave him props for the fight that was given to him at Crown Jewel. Didn't take long for this segment to get interrupted by a newly acquired Seth Rollins, who interrupted and talked about why everyone knows why he's there. Of course, you wouldn't have Seth Rollins on night number one going after the U.S. or the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
This is and they need heels to challenge Big E. So this is obviously a no-brainer here. Big E is quick to make the mention that Rollins had just recently lost the edge in the Hell in the Cell at the Crown Jewel and that he needs to go to the back of the line. But Rollins said he refuses. He wants that title off Big E's waist, and he wants it now. And then this is where we get Rollins says that Big E is scared to face him, and then all of a sudden this gets interrupted by now Rey Mysterio, that we haven't seen win a significant solo match in the longest. So he's another acquisition from SmackDown. This was just lazy booking, I thought, because after Mysterio we got Finn Balor, who just came from SmackDown. Then we got Kevin Owens, who they haven't made him mean a thing in a long while. This was just to get you to see the new acquisitions from SmackDown, people that people have already seen on Raw over the last 5 years. This was just to kind of make a big deal of the fact that the draft in their eyes means something that to the fans it really doesn't.
They tried to sell the whole story. These are former champions all trying to battle for that number one spot. But again, you've just heard from the old man that the last 5 years they haven't done crap, basically, developing new stars. So why do you care about these guys now? So again, he's just shoving it right down us instead of elevating new guys into that spot.
And this was mainly a segment not just to show off the new acquired SmackDown superstars, but it was just kind of gang up on Rollins. He's the only heel out of these five that are down here, so this was mainly just kind of make fun of Rollins. Rollins then decided to attack Owens. Big brawl breaks out. Very predictable Raw SmackDown type shit, right? Sonya Deville, she walks out on the stage. She books a fatal four-way match, and the winner gets a shot at Big E. They automatically become the number one contender. Rollins complains. Deville then says that since it's the season premiere of Raw, this is not only going to be your typical four-way match, it is going to be a fatal four-way ladder match.
Yes. Don't forget that we gave away the Money in the Bank. Big E cashed that in. But this is basically essentially another Money in the Bank contract here. We're going to just hang it up here. And don't forget, AEW just did this about 3 weeks ago, too, with Hangman Page winning. I mean, it was like, come on, guys.
They were so desperate on this show because every match, every segment, they tried their best to just throw some lazy booking stipulation to just kind of make it mean something when we know the following week it's just going to be back to shit. Like, it's not going to mean anything.
That's why I was surprised they mentioned the Rollins loss in Hell in the Cell. I thought we were supposed to forget that, even though it was like 3 days ago. Absolutely. But he's on a new show now, so I'm surprised they brought that up.
Records are reset. Next segment, we got a number one contenders match for the tag team titles. We got the Street Profits versus the Dirty Dawgs versus the Alpha Academy. This match started off with the Street Profits double teaming on the Dirty Dawgs. went the commercial break, came out of the break, and the heels, the Dirty Dawgs, are mainly working on Ford. Ford manages to finally tag in Dawkins. Dawkins clears the ring. Otis and Gable, then they start double-teaming Dawkins. Ford breaks up their pin with a splash, and then Ford does his standard vintage Ford, Montez Ford, as Michael Cole would like to say about anyone who does something every single week. It's vintage.
Yes.
Even though he hasn't used that in the longest while, I feel like. But he dove over the top, landed on Otis. Ford then went up top. Omos then power walks to the ring, and then Ford dives at Omos, but Omos catches him, sends him into the barricade. Omos then decks Dawkins, Roode, and Ziggler. They hit their finish on Dawkins. They get the win. So Dirty Dawgs, really surprised they got the win out of this. So
I am too, but they're showing some pretty good moves they're throwing out there in their matches. A couple weeks ago I was impressed with the big move they did on McIntyre. They kind of did some other good stuff in this one. Just, again, though, the booking, like you said, to get, your number one contenders, you're going to have a match in an hour. It's like,
yes, it would not be the last time that we would see the Dirty Dawgs. It would be the last time we would see their wardrobe, though, because they did change when they came back out later on.
Yeah, they did have a change at least.
We got a coronation of the Queen's crown. Now, Queen Zelina Vega. She came out to the ring, grabbed the mic. She was not very happy with how she was announced. She made Mike Rome reintroduce her properly, give her the proper queen introduction. She proceeded to crown herself. She put on this, all of a sudden, a fake British accent, which I thought she did very well.
I thought it was good, yeah.
Queen Zelina, she says that she's been underappreciated for far too long, and this is all while the women in the back, they're looking at the monitor in that sideways, that stupid sideways angle that they all look at in the back. She says that there's not a woman in the back that could hold a candle to her. And this, of course, of all the people that you could rile up in that whole huddle, you got Nikki Ash, you got Rhea Ripley, you've got Tamina, you've got people that you would think, okay, if I say the wrong thing, they're really coming. No, none of them made a move. It was Doudrop who decided to skip down to the ring. And then we got a match between Queen Zelina and Doudrop, a rematch from Crown Jewel. This match did not go very long at all. Zelina was able to eventually hit Doudrop with her with the scepter behind the referee's back for the win. So there you go. Zelina gets another win against Doudrop.
And I guess with the gimmick, I mean, Zelina got some good praise from Vince, I guess, after the Crown Jewel match. And he's like, backstage, she told this to Justin Barrasso in a recent interview that he just did, that Vince is, there's my queen. He I guess is giving her a little push.
I think she is good for it. She comes across as a credible heel that could pull it off. My issue is I feel you got to give people momentum before you crown them with these kind of gimmicks. Like, no pun intended, but before you give them these kind of gimmicks, you got to give them some steam going into it. Again, this whole hotshot booking of, several years ago, we had Jinder Mahal that hadn't won a match in months, and then all of a sudden, in one night, he becomes number one contender, and by the main event, he's the new world champ. It makes no sense. You got to give me something. Why does this person deserve? Not saying that Zelina Vega is not deserving of it, but we could have had her go on a little bit of a streak instead of the 50-50 or the consecutive loss booking that we had. Remember, first night, Toni Storm, they fed Zelina Vega to her for Toni Storm to get the win on her debut, and then we didn't see Toni Storm for weeks.
She's still missing somewhere. She
got
drafted, I guess. I don't.
She ain't with Rick Boogs and Nakamura anymore.
That's right. They broke that
was
package up. So, I mean, that's that. But, Vega, I guess, too, in the same interview, she said, it's finally time that, that I get my own time to shine instead of, being a valet and all that. And I know I've cracked down and said, man, she's got to be a valet manager. She's fantastic at that role. But I guess, it's her time to shine as solo. And we'll see what she could do on this Raw roster.
We ended up getting an in-ring segment with the champ, Becky Lynch. She said it felt great to have her title back. The title that she never lost.
Correct.
Which she didn't.
No.
She handed it over to Asuka.
Yes, it was in that case.
Yeah, so Lynch said she does not want to face Bianca Belair again. There's so many other people that we can watch her beat right here on Raw. And Belair then came out, interrupted. Belair then said that Lynch never pinned her at Crown Jewel. Belair then said that Lynch can't duck her anymore. They're on the same show. She can't run. She can't run away from Belair. And Belair proceeded to say that she had beat the former women's champion the previous week, so that means that she is first in line for a title shot. Belair said that she is the real face of WWE. Becky then said that the only reason Belair accomplished anything is because she wasn't around. Now, this is the part that actually made me laugh, PJ, was that they are trying so hard to fight against the grain and just get you. They fought so hard to make you buy into Becky Lynch being a heel.
Yeah.
They had Belair then cut a line saying that Lynch can't get over the fact that when she returned, people didn't chant for her. Apparently, Bianca Belair wasn't really paying attention to the SummerSlam crowd and that pop that Becky got when she came out.
Well, when she got knocked out in the 26 seconds, I mean, maybe she was concussed. I don't know if she got in that protocol and forgot all that.
Yeah, she said Lynch is nothing without the title. Belair, she wants her title shot tonight. And Lynch tells Belair to get to the back of the line, bitch.
Yes.
Then we got the mean streak Belair that I've been wanting to see more of.
Yes.
She proceeded to beat the shit out of Lynch. Go to the outside, Belair. She tossed Lynch over the announce desk. Lynch then grabbed a kendo stick. Where do they get these kendo sticks from?
Yeah,
I still have not.
They come out of all.
Do they go to Home Depot for the? Where are they getting the kendo?
Is.
Where would you need a kendo stick to help set up the ring? It's just magically under the ring.
It's always there. It's by the announce booth, just in case you need to cane somebody. There you go.
Belair took it from her. Then she landed a few shots in with the kendo stick. Lynch was able to hit a Russian leg sweep with the kendo stick. Then Lynch proceeded to run away. And Lynch said that Belair can have her match, just not that night. So
the end beat off, I mean, it just didn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense because, yes, Bianca beat the hell out of her. Then all of a sudden, Becky turned around and just beat the shit out of Bianca. And it's like, okay, you want to make them both look strong, but somebody has to look like they took some effects of this thing. I mean, Becky was up walking around and she took some pretty damn good licks from this thing, but it was like, okay, someone had to sell here, and they didn't.
Raw is a 3-hour show, very, very long. So do you mind if we breeze through several matches real quick?
Let's do it.
We got a championship contenders match. How in the fuck did T-Bar get how did he become a number one contender for the U.S. title to Damian Priest?
They must have remembered his NXT days, Dominik Jokovic.
Well, they ended up trading shots. They got to the outside of the ring. Eventually, T-Bar then tossed a chair at Priest to cause a DQ.
But then he snapped. Damian has a mean streak now. They were trying to sell that. It's like, okay, well, didn't you see him in NXT? Yes, he did.
Yes, Priest, he snapped, went nuts, tossed T-Bar all over the arena. So.
Yeah, they were trying to make a big deal about that. It's not.
So this isn't over. They want to take a break, finally get Sheamus away from Damian Priest. Sheamus and he, I guess for the time being, they had hit their crossroads. Sheamus did everything he could to get Priest over.
Yep.
They did a good job at that. Now they need people to feed to Priest to make you feel like this fucking belt is important.
Correct. Yeah.
And they couldn't find anything better than T-Bar.
I know. That's and he's a good guy. It's just the T-Bar thing, and he's the guy who ended up with the Retribution music, too. I found that out when he was walking down the aisle. I'm like, they still have that shit around, and he has to use it.
Oh, my gosh. Carmella, we got a match of her and Liv Morgan again, because this ain't over. She put on her mask. Again, I don't understand why she needs the mask, but she
protect the face.
Well, she worked over Morgan. Morgan then fired up, tried almost launched Carmella into the damn announce desk face first. Carmella put on the brakes, then Carmella got distracted. Morgan slammed her face into the announce desk in front of her now fiance. They made it official earlier in the week. Her and Corey Graves are now officially, they are engaged, so kudos to them.
Yep.
We had some reversals back and forth, then Carmella finally hit her finish for the win. Is this the final time that we will see Carmella and Liv Morgan?
No, we need at least 10 more of these rematches. Again, like you said, 3-hour show. We need more of this.
We got a match of Keith Bearcat Lee coming out with the Bearcat now on his wardrobe.
Yes.
Down to the ring. He had a match with Cedric Alexander, who was accompanied by his Hurt Business fella.
We just hate the Hurt Business. My God. I mean, a couple weeks ago, they were like in the main event picture as they were repackaged together, and now
they've been losers ever since they got the reunion. Vince said, you guys want to stay together so bad? Here you go, pal.
Yeah. And now Lashley's not. It sounds like he's taking some time off a little bit.
As he should.
Yep.
As he should.
They're just going to have to flounder around until he gets back.
Yeah, in this match, as soon as the bell rang, Lee proceeded to grab Alexander, tossed him way across the ring. Alexander, he rolled out of the ring, almost got counted out. Then Lee missed a big splash in the corner. Alexander, he tried to slingshot it. Lee caught him by the throat. STO by Lee. Lee then crushed Alexander into the corner. Yeah. This was basically a squash match. That's what this was. With Shelton Benjamin on the outside, this was still a squash match. Mm-hmm. Lee eventually hit the big bang for the win, and there you go. Bearcat Lee on the season premiere.
There were a couple botches in this match, too, so I'm sure the old man was going to point them out when he got back.
Yeah, after the match, Benjamin then decided to try to sneak up on Lee. Lee turned around, caught Benjamin. Benjamin backed off. So Bearcat Lee and the Hurt Business. Seems like this is business that is not finished just yet.
As we said before, though, if we're going to do the heel turn with Lee, he should be in the Hurt Business.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is this going to turn into Ahmed Johnson turning and becoming a member of the Nation of Domination? Yes. Is that what this is becoming?
Maybe that's where we go. And Bearcat Lee will be the new leader, and he'll try to oust Lashley. I don't know, but it's something.
We got a backstage segment. The Mysterios, they're back there, and they were, chatting, and all of a sudden they get interrupted by Austin Theory, who wanted to get a selfie with Rey Mysterio, the legend.
Yes.
Apparently, Austin Theory was not aware that maybe he thought Rey, since he was still on SmackDown, didn't catch what he had done to Jeff Hardy a couple of weeks ago with the selfie.
Well, wasn't Theory part of the takedown last year with Rollins when they were messing around with the Mysterios on Raw?
Yes, with Buddy.
So
Murphy.
He must not have his camera around. I guess different protocols, too, with what was going on. So maybe he couldn't get that close to take the selfie last year when he was on Raw.
Yeah, Theory decided he wanted a selfie with the Mysterios. All three were in the shot, and then he decided he wanted to lose one out of the shot, just him and Rey. So he proceeded to turn to Dominik, give him the phone, ask Dominik if he wanted to take the photo. Dominik proceeded to decline, and then Austin Theory challenged him to a match. And just like that, Dominik, he accepted. So we get to that match. Dominik, he tried a wheelbarrow. Theory reversed it into a backbreaker. Dominik then kicked out, and then Theory mocked Dominik. Dominik got fired up, landed some strikes. Second rope bulldog by Mysterio. Theory landed a modified Go ahead, sir.
I don't know. I'm not Excalibur. Yu-Gi-Oh! Or whatever.
I'm tongue-twisted there. But anyways, Austin Theory, as he should, he got the win, and then he proceeded to take his selfie with Dominik.
This could be a pretty good rivalry. Two young guys going at it. The problem is the booking. I do like the Theory thing, though. I like the selfie thing. But, this could develop to something. I'll give it a little chance here. Hopefully they can make something good out of this program.
We end up getting our Raw Tag Team Championship match. RK Bro versus the number one contenders from earlier in the night, the Dirty Dawgs, Roode and Orton. They hit some shots. Roode then missed a clothesline. Orton almost hit an RKO. Roode was smart enough to roll out of the ring. Orton stomped on Roode. Riddle then proceeded to tag in, ended up getting tripped on the apron by Roode. Went to commercial break, got back from the break. Riddle, he tagged in Orton, who cleared the ring. Ziggler sent Orton into the barricade. Ziggler then traps Orton into a crossface. Orton was able to counter that. Roode tagged himself back in, locked Orton into a sleeper, which then turned into a suplex by Orton. A lot of reversals in this match. Orton and Roode, they both tagged out. Riddle missed a kick to Ziggler, and then Riddle proceeded to land some moves to both Roode and Ziggler. Roode and Ziggler, they were able to trade some pen attempts, but they were unsuccessful. Riddle was able to trap Ziggler with the almighty dangerous roll-up for the win. So there you go. Your winners and still Raw Tag Team Champs, as they should be, RK Bro.
I was afraid they were going to switch him this night because of what happened earlier in the show. When you looked at the ring, Rollins is the only heel to challenge Big E. I thought, Vince is going to get impatient right here, and he's going to turn Orton on Riddle. I could feel it coming, especially how they were showing the Dirty Dogs in this match and the way, eventually the win came. I thought it was going to be controversial because it did look like Riddle kind of had both shoulders still down too. But I'm thankful that Vince didn't get cold feet on RK Bro, and he's still letting him go. And hopefully this program he'll let go for a couple more months.
We got number one contenders for the tag team match that ended up losing. That was the Dirty Dogs. And then after that match, we got our number one contenders ladder match for the main event for the night. It was Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio. Everyone started this match off as they should, attacking the heel. Everybody was on Rollins.
Yes.
He got sent to the outside of the ring. Owens then hit Rollins and Balor with the ladder. So they incorporated the ladder very early on in this match. Mysterio, he tried to dive. Owens was able to swat him out of the air with the ladder. Then Owens proceeded to powerbomb Balor onto the ladder. Owens super kicked Rollins. Rollins was able to fall on the ladder. A lot of stuff, a lot of ladder usage by Kevin Owens then, who then tried to hit a swanton. Rollins was able to move out of the way, and then Owens crashed into the ladder. Got to a commercial break, came back out of the break. Balor was able to stop a ladder into Rollins' chest. Rollins took a beating in this match. Owens tried to then powerbomb Balor on the ladder, but Balor was able to turn that into a backdrop. Rollins buckle-bombed Owens, who then exploded out of the corner. He hit a super kick. There was really not a lot of long-winded selling in this match.
No.
There was just some high spots. Yep. You hit a big maneuver. It'll lose you up for a couple of seconds, and then we're right back at it.
Yeah,
it was
a lot of it we've seen with these participants in
bang,
a lot
bang.
of match. I mean, with Owens and the senton on the ladder, I've seen that now like in 5 Owens ladder matches where he does that, the long ladder, and he just lands on it, and then he's out the rest of the match almost. So, I mean, I've seen that spot. Balor, Rey, it's their typical ladder match spots. It kind of got a little old here.
Well, all this shit was going on for so long. I'm like, is someone finally going to start climbing the damn ladder?
Yeah.
Who's going to set it? And finally, Kevin Owens was able to set the ladder up and climb it. And Mysterio was able to cut him off. Owens sent Mysterio into the ladder, and then he tried to set up a table. So now this is a ladder match, but he said, screw it. Go get me a table.
Yep.
So Balor was able to get in from behind and get at Owens. Rollins, he got them both, surprised them both with a suicide dive. Mysterio countered with a pop-up powerbomb with a Hurricane Rana into the ropes. He called for the 619, but Rollins was able to pull Mysterio out of the ring, and then Mysterio 619 ladder into Owens' face. So then we had Mysterio then riding a ladder, crushing Owens with it. Balor then took everybody out with a dive, got back into another commercial break, came out of that break. Balor was taking advantage. He landed a flurry of moves to everyone. Mysterio head scissors on Owens. At least he attempted to. Owens was able to turn it into a face buster. Rollins pulled a huge ladder from underneath the ring because we didn't already have enough fucking ladders to begin with in this match. Balor was able to set the ladder up between the ring and the announce desk. Balor, Mysterio, they're climbing a ladder. Owens pulled Balor off the ladder, hit a stunner, and then he was able to powerbomb Mysterio through a table. So, Owens was going to make sure he got his shit in with that table before the end of this match.
Exactly.
He then climbed, tried to get his hands on the contract. That's out of nowhere. Rollins was able to pull Owens off the ladder. Owens hit a back body drop to Owens over the top through the ladder. Balor climbed. Rollins, he yanked Balor off the ladder as well, stomped his head through the mat. Rollins was able to proceed to climb the ladder, pull down the contract for the win. So as it should have been, because Big E needs a heel to work with. This is pretty obvious to me. I don't know who you had originally winning this match, but your winner, Seth Rollins.
Yeah, it was the only thing that made sense. And, Rollins is going to be a good opponent for Big E.
We already know they're really good friends. They play Madden all the time on the damn game channel.
Yeah, so, he's a good guy to bump around and, competitive. And obviously, too, a former champion. So it's going to be a pretty good matchup. I would assume they got to keep it on Big E and keep him going. But who the hell knows?
Well, Rollins can lose to Big E and it won't hurt him.
Correct. Yeah, that's where Rollins is in his career right now, and you gotta build Big E up right now. So this makes sense.
After the match, Big E did the heel thing. I thought he walked out. Usually the heels walk out.
I think they ran. I think they found out. They looked at the clock and they're like, "Oh shit, we've got 5 minutes left," because this end was just strange. So they sent Big E out.
Yeah, to meet Rollins on the ramp. Rollins tried to shake Big E's hand. Big E laughed. Rollins laughed, walked away. So that was your ending for Raw.
Then in backstage, they had Rollins do an interview.
Yes.
After that. That's why I'm saying I think they looked at the clock and they said, shit, we've got 5 minutes left. So they sent Big E out, and then all of a sudden backstage we had another 2-minute interview with Rollins.
Plus, we know USA has no problem pulling the cord early on Raw.
Well, I think that's the thing.
They'll let NXT stretch that extra 8 minutes.
We're not giving you the 5 minutes tonight, boys. Not after the shit you've been giving us the last year. You're wrapping up right at 10 o'clock. We got to get Chucky on at 10.
Overall, I thought this Raw was very, very forced. I'm going to grade them on a curve because of, some of the stuff they gave us in terms of match stipulations. They try to give us fresh stuff throughout the night, so I'll give them a little bit of credit on that. But again, this will go nowhere in a hurry by next week. I'll give them a B- on this show. I just thought, for me, they just tried a little too hard because it was a season premiere, even though it's just Monday Night Raw. We're just kind of switching out. It's just musical chairs in terms of who we put in places.
You're right with that. I mean, the week before, it was an uptick. It was better than they were, Ben. And this, I guess, better than they were a month ago. So if we're building positives here, it was a good show. I'm with you with the B-.
On from Monday Night Raw, we shrink it down an hour. The next night, NXT 2.0, it was Halloween Havoc. This was the first attempt of the new rebranded NXT to kind of get you invested in something because there was a theme around it. And honestly, last year's Halloween Havoc during COVID was actually good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Could they top it? Chances are probably not, because still a lot of the country does not know who the fuck half this roster is.
Dude, I checked out. I watched this episode, but I haven't watched NXT for about a month, and I'm still trying to figure out who the hell are some of these guys. I don't know.
Yeah, we kicked this thing off with a Chucky promo.
Which would tell you this is basic WCW. I was waiting. It was funny that, Rex Steiner is in the main event, but Rick Steiner had to do a promo with Chucky back in the day with Mean Gene, and they haven't learned anything. We're going to have Chucky in another goddamn promo.
We kick this show off immediately. NXT Women's Championship Stairway to Hell ladder match. These were for the tag team titles. Io Shirai and Zoe Stark facing the team of Toxic Attraction versus the team of Indy Hartwell and Persia Pirotta. And this match, they immediately, Shirai and Stark, they quickly cleared the ring. And this thing was out of hand immediately. We got Dolan landing a sloppy-ass looking head scissors. That sent Shirai out to the ring. Dolan and Jane, they double-team Stark. Hartwell and Pirotta, they set up the ladder. They got this thing popping off with the ladders. Bunch of high spots. I thought this match was a little forced to just kind of keep you interested. There really wasn't much wrestling going on in this match. Shirai and Stark, they knocked them over off the ladder. Stark and Shirai, they then started to climb. Jane was able to tip the ladder over, which caused Stark and Dolan to kick each other in the face at the same time. Outside the ring, we got Hartwell and Pirotta. They're beating down on Io Shirai. Hartwell, she's bracing a ladder between the ring and the announce desk. And then we get a spot with Pirotta and Hartwell. They're trying to suplex Shirai on the ladder, but then Shirai turned that into a double DDT. Shirai, she then took the opportunity to try to climb the ladder, but she was met by Hartwell, who knocked her off. Stark then cut off Hartwell, and then now we got multiple ladders set up in the ring. Everybody's climbing. Stark is left standing on the ladder, and then we got Pirotta. She tips over. Stark flies over the top rope to the outside on the Dolan and Jane. I was surprised nobody got hurt on this spot, but Pirotta, she basically single-handedly fought off every other competitor to clear the ring out, and then she powerbombed Dolan onto a ladder. Jane sent Pirotta into a ladder with a Hurricane Rana, and then we had Io Shirai got back in the match, landing a moonsault on the ladder to Jane. We had Stark. We pick it up with Stark, who laid Pirotta on a ladder, hit a moonsault of her own, And then we had Indy surprising Stark with the spine buster on the ladder. And definitely some bruises.
Why the hell did we have 3 teams in this match? I mean, we just shit together this Indy Hartwell team because I'm like, well, like I said, I've checked out for a month. But the last time she was doing the Loomis wedding. But when the hell did they? And she was in the way with Gargano. Now we have her in this, and it's like they didn't even need to be in this match.
Yeah, Shirai, she climbed the ladder once again. Hartwell pushed her. Pushed it over, and then Shirai was landed headfirst on the ladder that was set up between the ring of the announce desk. So that pretty much, Io Shirai was that bee that kept buzzing around the entire match. That completely took her out. So we knew that team was going to be out of it. Dolan was able to knock Hartwell off the ladder, pull down the title for the win. So there you go. Winner. We got our new NXT Women's Tag Champs, Toxic Attraction.
And they've been pushing them to the damn moon on the programming, so not surprised by this decision that definitely they were going to win this match. I mean, going into it, no doubt about it.
We had our first cheesy backstage segment of the night, or at least a segment that was supposed to be offset. Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, they arrive at Dexter Loomis's house. We had Williams telling Hayes that he was going to wait outside. Hayes told Williams in no-limit fashion that he was about it, so he was going to come in with him. Now, they get inside the house, and this whole time, Gargano and Loomis, they're watching from a control center that had multiple screens. Gargano.
So they had a panic room.
They had a panic room. Gargano told Loomis that he had enlisted some help. The zombie referee was back. Well, when was the last time we saw the zombie referee? He was at the wedding,
He
right?
was at the wedding, yes.
He was at the wedding. Hayes then saw a little kid. Williams told him that it was Gargano. Hayes picked up the kid, demanded the title back. Hayes then realized it was just some dead kid, and this was to be continued. So we move along. Grayson Waller was on the stage dressed as a vampire. He was taking over the hosting duties for the time being, since L.A. Knight, who was supposed to be the actual host of this event, was not there yet. Waller was filling in. Joe Gacy then interrupted him to give a speech about violence not being the answer, and then Gacy proceeded to get into the ring, and his opponent, Malik Blade, proceeded to drop kick him. Malik Blade, my first time seeing him.
My first time as
before?
well.
Right.
I have not seen Malik Blade, and the Blade didn't fare well.
The Blade, the Butcher.
Yes.
Yeah, footage of Harlan. He was entering the arena. That got shown. Gacy worked over Blade during this match. Harlan then appeared at ringside, grabbed Blade by the throat. Gacy then told Harlan to stop. And we had Gacy hitting the handspring lariat for the win. So Joe Gacy with the win. He got on the outside, embracing Harlan. So that's what we got right now is Gacy and Harlan. They're going to make these guys a tandem to be reckoned with in NXT 2.0.
The Gacy character, I mean, is he supposed to be the woke guy now? But I thought they were trying to tone that down. So I still don't understand the gimmick. I really don't.
Malcolm Bivens, he was on stage with the rest of the Diamond Mine. He issued an open challenge.
The start of this, okay, you saw it too? Because they went from a tape package and nobody really gave Malcolm a heads up that we're coming to you. So they're just sitting there looking dumb, and then all of a sudden he gets into character about 5 seconds later.
Yeah, he issued an open challenge for anyone willing to face a member of his crew. At that moment, Odyssey Jones answered and wanted Roderick Strong. Bivens said that with all due respect, Odyssey Jones's big ass ain't 205. But Strong agreed to accept the challenge, so that's what we got. We got a silly backstage segment with Waller going through it was just too many backstage segments in this, and it just really got goofed up. It was to really hide the fact that a lot of these people can't work long matches. They're still green.
Yeah, and it's just and they're really desperately trying to turn this into SmackDown Raw. Really hard. And it's hard for the NXT, accustomed to watcher that, we don't want these goofy-ass segments. Now, we'll take some, but not every other segment, and it was getting bad.
That's exactly what you got in this, and on a night where you're competing with Game 1 of the World Series.
Yep.
NBA basketball
NBA's
on
NHL's
it was just Yeah, we had the match of Jones and Strong. We kicked this thing off. Jones tossed Strong across the ring. Strong was able to reverse Jones' slam into a sleeper, which then we got Jones tossing Strong to the mat. Jones then ran into a big boot by Strong. Strong was able to land a few more strikes for a near fall. Jones got back on the comeback, landed a series of power moves, capped it off with a shoulder breaker. And then we had Julius hit the ring, but clothesline over the top by Jones. Strong was able to land a stiff knee for the win. So Roderick Strong defeating Odyssey Jones. I'm a little confused. I don't really know. Odyssey Jones is also in that stuck in the mud spot right now, where it's like, for a guy that had some momentum, he's got the charisma, was looking strong for a while. He's been losing an awfully lot lately.
Yeah, they had him lose that tournament for the title shot to Carmelo Hayes, and now, he's been floundering ever since. So they don't know what to do with him. Yeah. But it ain't surprising because look what they're doing to Lee on the other level. And I bet they throw him in that same mold. They don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah. We had another backstage segment that I don't really care to get into. It had to do with Robert Stone, and I'll just keep that. I'm pretty much done with Robert Stone. We had a spin the wheel, make the deal NXT Women's Championship match of the champion Raquel Gonzalez and Mandy Rose. They spent the wheel, and the wheel landed on Chucky's choice, which Chucky selected a trick or street fight. There was no rules, and the pinfall had to happen in the ring.
Yeah, there was no rules. It's a street fight.
It's a street fight, meaning we do it outside the ring. We can go anywhere we want, but to get the pin, you got to come back to this ring.
And think about that. Chucky chose a street fight. No knives, no hiding around, no bullshit. This is not what Chucky would have picked.
No rules.
There were fucking rules because they had the pin in the ring.
As soon as the bell rung, Rose and Gonzalez, they traded some punches. Gonzalez, by the way, came in Taker style on a motorcycle.
Yeah, they gave her a motorcycle, and it looked so goddamn goofy because that damn entrance is so close to the ring now. You couldn't even
do the fans. Yeah, she rode right through the fans. Gonzalez, she splashed Rose into the corner. Rose was able to roll out of the ring. Then she hit Gonzalez with a kendo stick.
Yeah.
Because we just keep kendo sticks around. Gonzalez, she launched Rose into the barricade. Gonzalez missed a boot. Rose was able to slam Gonzalez's head into the ring post, and then she grabbed the kendo stick and started just beating the shit out of Gonzalez in the knee. And then we went to a commercial break, got back from a break. Rose was then trapping Gonzalez in a chair. Tried to pin her outside the ring. The referee then told Rose it had to be in the ring, even though this is a street fight. Then we had Gonzalez putting on a damn hockey mask, spraying Rose with a fire extinguisher. Now, hopefully this was not like WrestleMania 13 with the street fight of the LOD and the Nation of Dominik with grabbing the wrong fire extinguisher.
It probably was.
Gonzalez then slammed Rose back into the ring. Rose, before she could react to that, Gonzalez then press slammed her face first into a stack of chairs, and then she set the ring steps on the apron. Rose was able to send Gonzalez into those steps on the apron head first. Gonzalez then kicked out. Gonzalez then speared Rose through a table, which Rose kicked out right before the three. This was about as close as you could get, man, before an actual you fucked up chant was about to erupt and break out. Gonzalez, she kicked out, or actually someone standing outside the ring in a hood, that hooded figure, then hit Gonzalez with a damn shovel, which Rose was able to land a running knee strike for the win. So there you go. We got a new NXT Women's Champ, Mandy Rose. Everyone wanted to know who the hell was underneath the hood, and it was revealed to be Dakota Kai.
With a different hair color, and creepier looking character. So maybe she's tapping into the Bliss character, and that's what we're going to have down.
Please don't.
I mean, this tells you everything you need to know, though, about the booking. Mandy Rose in Toxic Attraction. Now they've got the belts. They pushed him right away. Raquel Gonzalez, I don't know what the hell they have in store for her. Obviously not drafted onto the main roster. I don't know if that was a good or a bad thing. With this title change tonight, I don't know where she's floating on, where the hell they plan for her right now.
Well, to make her be a credible champ, you're going to have her legitimately beat opponents clean without help from Toxic Attraction. But I feel like with them now holding all the gold, every match is going to be some interference. It's going to have them hold on to it. And I get it, they're heels. But, Mandy Rose, we waited. How long has she been? It's been 7-8 years she's been with the company. Mm-hmm. And this whole time you didn't do anything with her on the main roster. Okay, you send her down to NXT, but even I can't believe that she can hang with some of those girls at the NXT level. So now we put the strap on her.
You're preaching these new stars, but like you said, she's been here for 7 to 8 years. This goes against your philosophy and everything right now.
Just in case you forgot, we had to go back to Dexter Loomis's house because Hayes and Williams, they went in there. They're now being stalked by all. There's a lot of creepy things going on. Hayes and Williams, they can't find Gargano and Loomis anywhere. Andre Chase then appears. Chase said he brought his students there for a field trip, but now he can't find them. Of all, why are you bringing them to Dexter Loomis's fucking house? Did Loomis give you permission? Did the parents sign permission slips?
Sign the slips so they go wherever the hell they want now.
Well, he can't find his students. Williams said they needed that they saw a dead kid in the woods. The three, they agreed to then stick together. And then at the command center of the panic room, as PJ liked to call it, Gargano and Loomis, they decide to go after both Hayes and Williams. Chase gets eaten by zombies. Yes.
All right, that's right.
Chase got eaten by zombies.
Okay.
Hayes got pulled into a closet. Loomis appeared there. Williams proceeded to run away. Hayes appeared behind Williams. Williams decked Hayes.
And this wasn't a match. This was not a match.
No. Hayes and Williams, they then find the North American Championship, which then Loomis and Gargano appear behind them and attack them. Then Williams and Hayes, they run away. So that was the end of that segment. We go back. Grayson Waller, he's in the ring. He tells everyone to follow him on his social media. LA Knight then finally shows up. And boy, have the mighty fallen. Not that LA Knight was at the top of the world at any point, but boy, this is all that you could come up with for LA Knight. We didn't send him up to the main roster. I'm curious why that decision was made to hold him at NXT.
Yeah.
I get it. You need veterans to work with some of the – but right now, LA Knight, this is the time. He's running out. He's almost pushing 40. You got to figure out what you want to do with him. And doing silly shit like this on Halloween Havoc, this ain't it.
No. And having him, job the Bron breaker right away, and now this shit? Yeah.
No, he showed up. He was wearing the same fucking costume as Waller. And then Knight told Waller to hit the bricks. Waller said that he saved the show. And it's not Waller's fault that Knight had car troubles. That was the excuse for why LA Knight was not there on time. He was having car troubles. You might want to take that up with the rental. Don't they all? They drive rentals,
should get AAA. It's only $80 a year.
Knight said that he never said anything about car trouble. We got Solo Sikoa. Is that what we're calling?
We can't call him Uso.
Can't call him Uso. This is the younger brother of the Usos, the younger
cousin. You couldn't tell by the arm tat that he's part of the family. They really tried to hide it with the name here.
This was Knight pushed Waller into Sikoa. Sikoa then suplexed Waller over the top rope of the ring, and then Knight takes a powder. So we move on. Finally, we get to what everyone was waiting for, and that was, people thought that for sure if there was any title that was going to – oh, no, I apologize. We had a Spin the Wheel, Make a Deal NXT Tag Team title match.
Oh, that's right,
now. It was MSK versus Imperium.
That's right. This was another questionable what the hell are they doing decision.
Yeah, this ended up being they spin the wheel, and the wheel landed on the –
a kid get to spin the wheel
Yes, named Alex.
Yes.
A special So this was,
And then Chucky came on after the kid spun the wheel.
Yeah. The wheel landed on a lumberjack-o'-lantern match.
Yes.
Don't really give a fuck about this match. All we need to know is that Imperium are now your new NXT Tag Team Champs.
Which, again, it didn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense, but I guess you're going with them.
Walter? When was the last time you saw Walter on NXT?
I was going to say, I don't – if he's coming back, I guess you got to arm him with something, so – Maybe that's it.
All right, final match here. We're going to breeze through it. We got the NXT Championship match. We had Tommaso Ciampa versus Bron Breakker. Breakker ran over Ciampa. Ciampa grabbed a side headlock, in which Breakker tried to escape, but Ciampa, he wouldn't let go. Breakker was able to break free from that, which Ciampa was able to drop down. Gator roll by Breakker onto Ciampa into a suplex, and then we got some drop kicks there from Ciampa onto Breakker into the knee. Ciampa then tried the leapfrog. Breakker was able to turn it into a Rick Steiner-esque power slam. He pulled off some moves of both his dad and his uncle. He pulled off a Hurricane Rana or Frankensteiner like his uncle back in the day in this match. We went to a shitty commercial break. Came back from the break. Ciampa then blasted Breakker with a running knee. Diving elbow by Ciampa, who then continued to work on Breakker's midsection. Breakker then slipped off into the second rope. We fast forward into the action. Ciampa was able to get another near fall. Ciampa then surprised Breakker with a Willow's Bell. And then we had Breakker kicking out of that. Ciampa walked right into that Frankensteiner that we just talked about. And then we had a double underhook suplex by Breakker. Ciampa then kicked out. A lot of near falls in this match. Breakker then tried his finish, but Ciampa was able to counter into a DDT. And then they tried to trade strikes in the middle of the ring. Breakker then tried to suplex Ciampa onto the exposed concrete outside the ring. Ciampa was able to counter that with a DDT of his own. And then hit the fairy tale ending, in which that busted Breakker open pretty... I don't want to say pretty good. It looked like a pretty shitty blade job. I don't know.
Well,
was that Heinz ketchup pack that they're now doing for Halloween? Was that
bite on it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what the fuck that was. It was a terrible bleed job, but Breakker was able to kick out. Ciampa landed a running knee and then hit another running knee, and then Ciampa was able to hit another fairy tale ending finally for the win. So the title that we thought for sure was probably going to change, that did not go down. Tommaso Ciampa is still your NXT world champ.
I mean, is this the teacher-student program they're running here? Eventually he's going to win it, but just not tonight? I mean, eventually you got to put it on him. I thought this was the time.
Well, I think they're looking to get a best of 3.
Okay, I guess that would make sense.
But then where do you go with Ciampa? Ciampa's already told you he doesn't want to work the main roster. He can't. His body, he can't hold up anymore to do that.
So I guess maybe this is his last run. Maybe with it. Maybe to the end of the year. So maybe they are trying to get this to go until the end of December, and then he's done.
Overall, this was a C show for me. This was knowing that you were, and I guess there are certain things that you can't help. You were going against Game 1 of the World Series. You were going against NBA basketball on TNT. I just thought it was a C. Just too many backstage segments trying to cover up for the fact they got a lot of green people on this roster, can't work long matches. This is what you get when you build a roster like that and you're trying to run these theme shows. It's just a little too goofy. WWE trying to win a fucking Emmy with the production. It was too clean. Not saying it looked like shit in terms of quality. It was just... It's just a little bit too much. Too much of the theatrics and the smoke and mirrors with the segments and going to Loomis's house and all that shit. I don't know. C for me. I don't know what you grade at this Halloween Havoc of 2021.
This thing was a damn D because compared to last year's, which they brought back, the theme was awesome. I thought last year's show was like on the A level. This, they've changed. You could tell how much they've changed everything up within a matter of 2 months here on who's taking over production and everything. Like you said, too much of the backstage shit. It looked like every 4th of July when they have a food fight. I mean, I was waiting for that to happen. They didn't have it at least, but yeah, this show was not good.
And there you go, wrapping it up. Combined, we got a B- for Raw. We'll go with your D. We'll give this overall 2-night total of a C- for both shows. Let's get the fuck out of here. That's your Raw and your NXT 2.0 review. Bush League Mud Show. Slade,
PJ.
Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Social media, hit us up at Bush League MS Pod. We'll be back at you actually in a couple days. We give you some news and tidbits and run through SmackDown and Rampage in another week. Do we get some Dynamite this week? Are they back regular or are they back on Saturday? I can't remember.
Saturday.
All right. Well, maybe we'll give you a Dynamite. Maybe we won't. We'll see. Later.